If you thought the anime industry was running out of ideas, you were wrong. They were just saving the weirdest ones for 2026. This isn't a year for safe bets. It's a year for, wait, they actually animated that? Let's count down the top 10 most anticipated non-sequel action anime of 2026. Usually, when a protagonist tries to hide their power level, it's about as subtle as a nuclear explosion in a library. But A Tale of the Secret Saint takes that trope and turns it into a high-stakes anxiety comedy.
魔物にやられ、致死量の血を流しながら、私が思い出したのは大聖女だったという前世だった。
We follow Fia, a girl who wants nothing to do with being a holy saint and everything to do with hitting things with swords. I honestly resonate with the sheer stubbornness of this character. She has the magical equivalent of a cheat code engine but insists on playing the game on hard mode because knights are cooler. It's a hilarious reversal where the Chosen One narrative is treated like an embarrassing medical history she's desperately trying to bury. It's wholesome, it's stupid, and it's surprisingly endearing.
俺が前世でやり込んでた VR 対応オンラインゲームマジックワールドと全く同じなのだ。
血が出たなど勝ちでしかないわ。即刻この館から出ていけ。
Listen, I know what you're thinking here. Vinny, this title is a paragraph long, it's another generic fantasy. And you're probably right, but hear me out, okay? This is for everyone who ever spent 3 hours staring at a stat screen in an RPG optimizing a build that the developers clearly didn't intend. The protagonist, Elmer, gets kicked out for having a useless class, only to reveal that he's basically a speedrunner playing a patched version of reality. What makes this stick for me is the combat system. It's not just I scream louder and win, it's nerdy, mathematical exploitation of game mechanics. It feels like watching a pro gamer bully a boss with a level 1 club because they memorized the frame data. It scratches that very specific itch of seeing an underdog win not through the power of friendship, but through the power of having a wiki page in their brain. There's a specific texture to Rumiko Takahashi's story, a cozy retro blend of horror and comedy that feels like coming home.
私は死んだことがある。あの時のこと、なんでこんなに思い出せないんだろう。何か聞こえる。
Mao is the spiritual successor to Inuyasha that we didn't know we needed. Instead of animal ears, we get curses, investigations, and a Taisho-era aesthetic that drips with style. I was surprised by how much darker this feels compared to her previous works. It's a mystery thriller first, and a supernatural adventure second. The dynamic between Nanoka and Mao isn't just the usual bickering romance, it's a shared trauma bond over being cursed that feels surprisingly grounded. It's old school, sure, but it's the kind of old school that reminds you why the classics became classics in the first place. It doesn't try to reinvent the wheel, it just rolls it over your face with effortless execution.
どういうこと？教えてよ、マオ！
Ninjas in modern hoodies fighting demons. If that sentence doesn't activate the teenage lizard brain dormant in your skull, then I don't know what will. Black Torch is pure, distilled rule of cool. It feels like Bleach and Jujutsu Kaisen had a kid that was raised on aggressive hip-hop beats and urban aesthetic. The hook here is Jiro fusing with a Mononoke cat named Rago. And let me tell you, Rago is the star. He's not a cute mascot, he's a grumpy, ancient entity who hates that he's stuck in a teenager. The banter is top tier, but the visuals are where this show is going to shine. The manga has some of the cleanest paneling I've seen in years, and if the anime captures even 10% of that ink brush style fluidity, we're looking at the Sakuga Showcase of the year. It's loud, it's stylish, and it doesn't apologize for being an action junkie's dream. Imagine Fate Stay Night, but the historical figures aren't waifu bait, they're psychopaths.
Ta 一つでいい。手に入れるんだ。
Petals of Reincarnation asks the question, what if you could inherit the talent of a past genius, but you had to die to get it? It's a battle royale of historical fan fiction gone wrong. We have Isaac Newton manipulating gravity fighting against samurai, and look, some of the matchups here are genuinely unhinged, but what I love is the cinema mechanic. If you reincarnate a bad person, you risk losing your mind to their urges. Watching the protagonist try to use the power of a legendary thief without becoming a criminal himself adds a psychological layer that elevates it above a simple death game. It's edgy, yes, but it's that fun, popcorn munching kind of edgy where you turn your brain off and watch Einstein dropkick a warlord. Just taking a moment to remind you to give this video a like. It won't take you long. Come on, go ahead and do it now, and let's get back to it. Thanks. False Memory is the sci-fi action juggernaut that looks like it's going to melt our GPUs in the summer season. Imagine a world where human memory is just data. It can be uploaded, edited, and most importantly, corrupted. We follow the Bureau of Memory Management as they hunt down bugmen, people whose memories have glitched out, turning them into volatile, reality-warping threats. It's given me major Psycho-Pass energy mixed with the visual tripping hazard of Mob Psycho 100. The animation from Studio Tumble is absolutely stunning. It scratches that cyberpunk itch of high-tech, low-life, asking the terrifying question, are you really you if your past can be rewritten by a guy on a laptop? It's trippy, it's gorgeous, and it's looking like the sleeper hit of the year. Seed is what happens when you take the high-octane action of My Hero Academia and inject it with an unhealthy obsession with cats. Jiwoo is a cinnamon roll with super speed, and his mentor is a fat, fluffy cat who's secretly the world's strongest awakened warrior. The comedy here is golden. Watching a legendary, prideful warrior trying to give serious battle advice while licking his paw is a gag that never gets old. But don't let the fluff fool you, okay? When the fights start, this show locks in. The sense of speed is exhilarating. It captures that kinetic energy where you feel the wind shear coming off the screen. It's the perfect blend of slice-of-life wholesomeness and bone-crunching action. If you've ever wanted to see a cat instruct a teenager on how to break the sound barrier, then this one's your show. Dating is a battlefield, right? But in Marriage Toxin, that is literal.
契約成立だ。
ゲロ君ってマジでめちゃくちゃ腕が立つわけ？
あんたらはクズ人間だ。
運命に同感者。毒使いさんですよね。
あんたを助けに来た。もう大丈夫だ。
Giro is an assassin who needs to get married to save his sister, but he has zero social skills. His solution? Simple. He kidnaps a marriage swindler Kinosaki and forces them to become his dating coach in exchange for their life. This is Spy Family on acid. The dates usually involve poisoning rival clans or dodging bullets at a mixer. I absolutely adore the chemistry between Giro and Kinosaki. It's a buddy cop dynamic where one's a lethal weapon and the other's a lethal socialite. The series brilliantly metaphorizes the struggle of modern dating, the anxiety, the preparation, the fear of rejection, by framing them as life or death assassination missions. It's absurdly funny, surprisingly sweet, and it proves that finding a soulmate is harder than killing a room full of mercenaries.
これは毒使いゲロヒカルの婚活物語である。
お腹にもう一人いるよ。やっぱり双子だった。
夜と昼を分かつ子が生まれてしまった。
When Hiromu Arakawa, the creator of Full Metal Alchemist, drops a new fantasy series, you sit down and you listen. Demons of the Shadow Realm is a masterclass in world building. We follow twins separated at birth, caught in a war between day and night demons. It feels like Arakawa is flexing her muscles here. She has this unique ability to balance horrific tragedy with slapstick comedy without giving you whiplash, and that signature tone is all over this. The magic system involves pairs fighting together, and the tactical depth is immense. But what really grabs me is the mystery. Yuru, the protagonist, has been lied to his entire life, and watching his worldview shatter is compelling stuff. It's not just a battle shonen, it's a family drama wrapped in barbed wire. It feels grand, epic, and meticulously crafted. I don't think I've ever been this terrified and excited for an adaptation. Sekiro No Defeat has the impossible task of adapting a From Software game, a studio known for storytelling through silence and item descriptions. But from what we've seen, they chose violence. The focus on the clash, that metallic ping of a perfect parry, seems to be the core visual language of the show. I'm fascinated to see how they handle the wolf's immortality. In the game, dying is a mechanic. In a narrative, it's a curse. If they can capture the sheer oppressive atmosphere of Ashina and the desperate, bloody struggle of shinobi who can't die, this will be a masterpiece. Hesitation is defeat, and I'm not hesitating to call this my #1 pick. Get ready to die twice. Anyway, I'm gonna go replay Sekiro and try not to break my controller before the anime actually comes out. If I don't upload for 3 weeks, assume I'm stuck on the final boss again. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. Remember, hesitation is defeat. Peace.